Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Rebirth Island. Let's get into it. Out in the plains, just near the forest, we see Scotty. He's hunting, but without Fang. It's because of that injury she has gotten. But what is he hunting? He's hunting not really a baby, but a young Argentinosaurus. This one's just peacefully grazing, blissfully unaware of its impending doom. It struggles a bit, even managing to whack Scotty a bit with its neck and tail, deterring him for a second, only to be dragged down. But as Scotty arrives back at the nest, dragging the dead prey, he sees Fang asleep. He decides to go to sleep next to her, leaving the prey out in the open. Not a good move, for as we know, scavengers such as the male Spino'sToymovies have amazing snouts or smells, whatever you can call it. He has to be extremely quiet though. For Scotty alone, especially around a defenseless mate, would be able to rip him apart. But as the male looks up, he realizes that Scotty isn't there. The male runs, but Scotty is angry. And the thing is, Scotty knows these woods better than anyone. He's been living in them his entire life. The male has no choice but to fight, and is immediately taken to the floor. Now, this isn't a way for large alpha predators to kill each other, no. It's a way to show dominance, to say this is my territory and never come back. But the male Spino'sToymovies refuses to kneel and never come back, because he's quite egotistical and vengeful, because he wants to, avenge his sister. He does it again, pinning him down and ragging. It's a motion where he kind of like shakes his head while biting down onto the neck. It's a way to humble them, really, before he moves off, letting the male walk away. But back at the nest, the Spino'sToymovies has tricked Scotty into thinking he's left and is terrorizing Fang, intimidating him. Horrible move. He's trying to reason with Scotty, trying to persuade him not to rip him to shreds, but Scotty is too angry, even scratching him with his claws, a very peculiar thing for T-Rex to do. He bites down on his snout, pushing him again, and he charges once more. The male Spino'sToymovies, full of cuts, lacerations, and scars, tries to escape to the plains, but he cannot escape a vengeful T-Rex. And these are Scotty's battlegrounds too. He's been fighting them for ages, up to the point where he's the apex predator now. Yes, He's the largest predator on the island. So far, at least. He tries to... There is a move that theropods do against each other on the island, where they try to get a good clean... There, he's done it. A clean, like... jump out the way. And strike. If you play Jurassic World Evolution 2, you would see this. It's like the default attack. The male catches his breath. Scotty just waits and taunts. Soon he's on the floor begging for mercy. Scotty puts a foot on his face. And then on his neck, before leaning down and dragging him through the dirt. He runs off into the forest, and Scotty just watches. Back at the nest, we see Fang digging into her meal. Now she's physically strong enough to at least put up a decent fight, but she can't really run, because she did hurt her ankle in the fight with the Triceratops. They both communicate. Scotty shows his loving bond with Fang. This is just the dinosaur way of hugging, really. Scotty steps back because, almost like humans in the animal kingdom too, when it's their food, they get a bit, angry when someone else is near their food. But Fang decides to do something very generous and pushes the meal over. Scotty also digs in. They are truly happy together. Meanwhile, on the edge of plains and forest, we see Plato. He's back. As you can see, he's got a few more scars on his face. That's probably because territorial disputes with mostly Iguanodon, really. Luckily, the thumb spikes can't get through his tough face platings, which Stegosaurus have adapted to have. For the only actual non-vulnerable area, vulnerable area on a Stegosaurus here is rather the legs, which I highly doubt any of the carnivores can get to. Well, Blueback or something would have, but he's dead. But the head was always the first choice. Never the tail, never the legs, never the neck. Sometimes the neck if they're small enough. It was always the head. So they've adapted smooth osteoderms, I suppose you could say. He's having a good life, being the largest non-sauropod, I believe. Yeah, largest non-sauropod on the island, herbivore-wise. But meanwhile, somewhere else, another battle is brewing between two of the most underrated main characters. Oh wait, where's he going? Never mind, he's going the other way around the camera. Yeah, Uno is a very difficult one to document. Yeah, Uno. Yes, I just called one of my favourite main characters underrated, because you don't see him that much. But you must be thinking, who's the other underrated main character? Well, it's Feathers. Well, Featherless. And she is stalking Uno, because she is hungry, and she's finally gotten out of that dreaded desert. As Uno grazes, she runs in, but Uno flips around and they roar at each other. Featherless scratches at Uno's large crest, which he uses, and with some hoof stomps and loud moves, he manages to kind of intimidate Featherless. Feels like an insult to call a featherless dinosaur feathers. He does a bluff charge, and Featherless scratches at the face. And then Featherless does an awesome move and kicks. Yes, they know how to do that now. And she does it again, managing to get onto the back of Uno like some cowboy. But it doesn't last long. Or does it? For when they come back into frame, she's still managing to cling onto Uno's back, but then gets flung off, and she quickly has to move out the way before a stomp, and then he kicks again. She kicks again, sorry. But soon, Featherless runs out the way. Why? That's why. Now back at where Featherless ambushed, well, more of jumped out really. Uno comes over to feast on some fallen leaves. But like Robert Muldoon said in Jurassic Park 1, clever girl. She's managed to clamber onto the trees. She runs off. Uno has won. But because of this battle, he now has a huge, we believe it's claw marks, just kind of piled together in one spot, and scratches all over his face. The blood will come off, sure, but it might leave a few scars, so he lays down to try and get some rest. But up in the skies, there is no time for rest, for you're always flying. We'll see you next time on Dinosaur Rebirth Island. Have a great day.